welcome. Thank you for joining me for Ashley's Heart Song. This is the place where we get out of the stress and back into our body, our life, and our business. When we tap into the song of our heart, that is where we can master the mind and the stress that steals our life. So happy you have joined me today for this episode of Unveiling the Mystery. Really, it truly is the power of love. And when I was checking in to seeing what this show was going to be about, and it just landed in the time of year where love is just exponential. It is all around. And it was very interesting because as I was thinking about this idea around love, I realized how disconnected I was from the mood of the year. I was disconnected from it, hadn't even thought about it. And so when I began just exploring that word love and looking at all the different meanings of love and checking out what they write about love, it really did help me to tap in more of around the ooey goodness of it, this emotion of love, this feel good feeling that when we are in love, we have this little giddiness about us. It's like our cells are dancing. And when we're not in love, our cells don't feel like they're dancing. So I thought it would be fun for us to explore a conversation today around love. And before we do that, though, let's check in with our vitality score for the week. Your vitality score this week. We know the vitality score, if you've been with me for any length of time, you know it's our mental, our emotional, our physical, and our spiritual health. It's combining all of those together where we are. And the high score that you can have is a 40. So let's just drop into mental fitness today. Mentally, where are you on this vitality scale from 1 to 10? 1 being mentally, you are in the dumps. You've got some negative thinking going on, and we're going to talk about that today. And then we have the 10, whereas at a 10, we're feeling the love mentally, right? Mentally, we're sharp, we're on point, and you can be anywhere in between. So write down your vitality score for mental health today. Next, we have got emotional. Emotionally, where are you from 1 to 10? 1 being emotionally, you're a little moody or a lot moody. And then a 10 is you are emotionally balanced today. You feel so good, or somewhere in between. Write down your score. Physical, where are you physically today? Do you feel strong? Do you feel capable? Do you feel like you have all the energy your physical body needs in order to get you through the day? Where are you on the vitality scale for physical health today? 1 being you feel not real good. You feel a little, I don't want to say weak, but it could be weak. Maybe you do feel some weakness around. However, it could also just be lethargy, or you feel super strong at 10, or somewhere in between. And then your spiritual health. Where are you spiritually? Spiritually today, do you feel connected? That's a 10. In alignment, that's close to a 10. Or do you feel disconnected, alone today? That would be between a 1 and a 5. Put your score down and then tally up your score, and the high score is a 40. If you're above a 30, you're doing great. Just look at those areas where you're a little low and see if you can pay some special attention. Give those areas a little bit of love this week and see if you can't elevate that score a bit. All right. Let's move on here and let's get to the reason for this conversation today. C.S. Lewis wrote in his book, The 4 Loves, to love at all is to be vulnerable. Love anything and your heart will certainly be wrung and possibly broken. Love is one of those emotions that once we've been burned, we think twice about doing it. Because when you love so purely, so deeply, so all into it, and then when the heart is broken, you're disappointed, you've been lied to, you've been cheated, you've been discounted, abused even, then once we've been burned in that area, we tend to hold ourselves, we tend to step into, and I'm speaking from personal experience and that of people that I've worked with, okay? I'm not speaking about the world here, just my little world. What I have seen is that we tend to lock ourselves away, close the door on our heart, put a lock on it, and don't open it again. And when we live in that space, that is lonely, that is alone, and that doesn't feel good. The clients that have come to me with eating disorders, disordered eating, so to speak, or emotional eating, physical abuse, meaning they overexercise, or some of them underexercise. And many times it has to do with love. It does, whether it has been in a relationship with someone else or it's in a relationship with themselves. There's that grief there that seeps in when you have been disappointed in that way, whether it has been in love with someone else or in love with yourself. And when we are in that space of aloneness, things start to come in. That is where those that came to me and we worked backwards from the disordered eating, from the physical over-exercising, the abuse of that. When you look at that and you backtrack, you see that a lot of it is around love and the lack of love for oneself because of the lower frequency emotions like shame and guilt. That's painful, super painful. In the dictionary, love is defined as an intense feeling of deep affection. An intense feeling of deep affection. You know, that's true. However, I feel and I see that love is so much more than that. In the Bible, or the biblical description of love is sacrificial. A love that gives first and expects nothing in return. It's easy to have an intense feeling of deep affection, that kind of love. That's easy to have, wouldn't you say? But that love that gives first and expects nothing in return. Do you love like that? You know, in this world that I work in, we work with two base emotions, and that's love and fear. And the fear is run by the ego mind. And love, of course, it comes from our connection with a higher source, God, and from the heart brain connection. And the ego mind, edging God out, that comes from the fear. And that's one of those tightropes. I see it as a tightrope, that fear tightrope, that either we are in fear or we are in love, and there's no neutral zone. And there is an emotion, quote unquote, that is neutrality. And I'm going to talk about that in just a little bit. But when we're looking at this line of fear and love, which side are you sitting on most of the time? Are you sitting in that realm of fear where you're operating in the ego mind? It's this or that, less than, um, no opportunities, uh, disjointed, disappointed all the time, discouraged, all the disses belong on this side. And then, and when we're there and we're operating in that, then we are operating from the ego mind, the mind of pride, the mind of needing to be right. And in that side, here's the interesting part of it, because this conversation around love is going to take you from the mental, the emotional, the physical, and the spiritual. That's the beautiful thing about all of these emotions is there is a physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual side to all of this in the way it impacts us. So we're in this place of fear, opposite of love. Two basic emotions, fear and love. Everything, all the others stem from those two. Fear is below the line, love is above the line. Fear below, love above. And when we're in that place of fear-based emotions, guilt, shame, those are the lower resonating frequencies. And those range from 20 and 30 is guilt and shame to anger is 150 on the frequency scale. These are emotions that have this certain vibration to them. And those are lower vibrations. Fear is 100, anger is 150. Shame and guilt are 20 to 30. When we're operating in that spectrum below neutrality, then our body, are you ready for this? Your body is aging exponentially. Your body ages by storing fat and utilizing lean tissue for energy. So every time we get angry, our body shifts over into this mode of operation that is stressful, and that has us using lean tissue for energy instead of the stored fat. So when I think back, just last night, we got this puppy, and the puppy's been at the trainer. Thank you. I'm so grateful that we took our dog to a trainer. It was mission critical dog training, and they are phenomenal. They have done an incredible job with our dear Luna. And Luna, she's been home not even a week now. And I remember last night I felt this frustration come over me. And I know why now, but at the time I was like, this spark of frustration just came up in me. And when I got done feeling that frustration, I was like, oh my gosh, my body just stored fat and used lean tissue for energy, for the energy I was using to express the frustration, to do whatever it was, to be in that state. I was just using lean tissue. When we can stop and see the damage that we're doing to our body every time we feel any of these lower base emotions that are below the line, it's like, oh my gosh, we need a wake-up call because our body is aging exponentially. And when we're in this season of love, this season of just cherishing those that we love, wanting to express the love that we have for them, when we're in that mode and when we can be in that season of expression, then our body is so much more vibrant. And that's that higher frequency that we can begin to feel in our body. And guess what happens physically? On the physical element, our body will then mobilize fat for energy and hold on to the lean tissue. And our body begins to be more youthful. We don't age as quickly. we slow down that aging process. So all emotions, these emotions I've been talking about, all have a frequency. Love is vibrating at a rate that promotes healing and well-being within one's own body. Healing and well-being within one's own body. The essence of emotional vibration, the emotional vibration scale, and you can go online and look at these scales, very interesting, very fascinating, is each human emotion receives a frequency based on whether it cultivates a primary positive or negative mindset. So let's take that example of last night when I all of a sudden felt frustration with my puppy. And I should not have, right? Shame on me for feeling frustration. But those of you who have had a puppy, you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm feeling here. But when I felt that frustration, it cultivated what? A positive mindset or a negative mindset? A negative mindset. And that's where that frequency gets that score, goes low, because we know that when the mind goes into a fear-based emotion, we know that it triggers the stress response. In that stress response, your body will mobilize and utilize lean tissue for energy in that moment. Love, joy, passion, happiness, those that are above the line, above the neutrality line, are some of the highest frequency emotions around. So we want to move above the line and feel that love. So if we wanted to practice the love emotion, because there's a something that my mom used to say when I was young, and I loved this so much. When I didn't feel like going to do something, hang out with friends or whatever, I love to be at home. It's just, I'm a homebody kind of a person. And when I said, oh, I don't want to go, I just want to stay home. And she knew it was better for me to go. She knew I would have more fun. She knew that once I got rolling, I would have fun and I would feel that lightness of being that is so childlike and so yummy to the cells. She knew it. And she would say, Ashley, you've got to act yourself into a better way of feeling and thinking. And I always thought, oh my goodness, seriously? I have to act myself into a better way of thinking and feeling. Well, sure enough, when I took that action to go with my friends and to go out and about and be with them and have that friendship of fun, guess what happened? My thinking improved and my feelings improved. I went above the line. So where in your life right now today, whether you're watching this live, whether you're watching the replay, whether you're watching the replay 10 years from the day that it aired, where are you today in your ability to demonstrate love-based emotions? Where are you in your ability to feel them in a moment's notice? We have the capacity as a human being, we have the capacity to imagine a higher frequency emotion like love, happiness, joy, peace. We can imagine that in our mind in a scenario where we are witnessing it, and then all of a sudden we'll find ourselves transported to it and begin feeling it. Our imagination is so very powerful in that way. So in this season of love in your life, is there someone in your life that you have wanted to express that love to and haven't? You've been afraid, you've been scared. because maybe of being burned in the past, maybe not. Maybe you've just gotten used to holding things close. But where are you today? Are you in a position? Are you in a place where you can finally step into that moment where you can freely express your love? One way to do that is to go inside your imagination first and imagine that situation where you freely express the love and think of all the reasons why you love that person, what they mean to you, what they've done with you and for you in your life, all the nuances of that love that you have for them. Imagine that and see it in your mind's eye. Then you'll begin to feel the love bubble through your body. And when you feel that love bubble through your body, that is when you are love. You are being the resonance of love. You're being that lightness of being that promotes healing and well-being, not only within your own body, but in the one you're thinking of, the one you are in action with, the one, anyone that is around you. We know that there are several types of love. There's the romantic love, the family love, brotherly love, and then God's divine love. Those are the 4 loves. And when we look at all of those and in ways that we can express each one of those, that is one way that you can look and see, what is your love scale today? You know, we did our mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual, but what about your love scale? Where are you with romantic love today? Where are you with your family love, your brotherly love, and the God's divine love? Where are you with each one of those areas of love? And are you participating in them, or have you locked your heart away? No man is an island. I love that song. No man is an island. No man stands alone. Each man's joy is joy. Each man's love is love. We are meant to be in relationship. We are meant to be in partnership. We are meant to be with people. And in that deep relationship with them, sharing love, sharing good fortune, sharing pleasure and playfulness. We are designed that way. That's our human makeup. So where are you holding back in your life? From whom are you holding yourself back from? There is a risk in love, but there is also a great reward in love. And I know for me, that's one thing that I like to keep in mind and need to keep in mind is there is great reward in love. So how do you and how can you express love? How can you express your love today and not expect anything in return? I think that's the hard part, the not expecting anything in return. That's the human part. We humans, think that way, right? There's an exchange here. We think in exchange, but in all actuality, that love, when we give love, we're not supposed to expect anything in return. Love is just supposed to be a gift. So where can you express love today and not expect it in return? And yet, how do you receive it? Do you deny it when it's expressed to you, or do you open your hands and go, oh my gosh, thank you. Thank you for loving me. Do you receive it well? Or have you locked that lock up so good that you haven't allowed the love in either? It didn't go out and it didn't come in. Well, how about if this week we all make a pact? This week we make a pact that not only are we going to open ourselves up to expressing that love, but we are going to keep the lock off and the door open so that we receive that love and have that beautiful energetic exchange. There are 5 love languages. There is a wonderful book called The 5 Love Languages, and these may be helpful for you. If you haven't read the book, there's a test too. You can take a test and see which one you are, which one is your highest. And these love languages are words of affirmation. Maybe you love people when people say kind words to you or affirm you. Maybe that really does lift you up. That's words of affirmation. Quality time. Is your love language quality time? Quality time is when that someone spends time with you. Quality time, where your attention is on one another. The attention, you're present. You know, we talk about on Ashley's Heart Song about our presence and being fully present and being aware. That's what quality time is. Quality time isn't sitting on the couch and watching TV and totally checking out and not communicating. That's not quality time. Quality time is spending time together. And then physical touch, you know, holding hands, arm around each other, a caress. That would be the personal touch. Or acts of service. Acts of service. Acts of service is where you are doing something kind and nice for someone else. It's when you are thoughtful of their needs, what's happening in their world, and taking action to help them out. Acts of service. And then, of course, gifts. Gifts is another love language. Gifts, we know what that is, but it could be any kind of a gift, right? It could be a bought gift. It could be a handmade gift. It could be anything at all. Anything that you're giving them is a gift, whether it is an energetic gift, whether it is a physical gift, an emotional gift, doesn't matter. But whatever gift it could be that love expression. So when we are in partnership and expressing our love to someone, it might be helpful to know what their love language is so that they can fully receive that love that you're expressing and giving to them. Because if you are communicating love in a totally different way to someone, they may not hear it at the level that you are giving it, because it's like a foreign language. If someone's if someone's love language is words of affirmation and you're wanting to do an act of service for them, they may not see that that's love. They may go, oh, clean the kitchen. Well, of course you did. You needed to. Instead of, oh my gosh, you cleaned the kitchen for me. I mean, that would be a gift, right? That's a gift when it's your love language. But if it's not your love language, then it could just be of, oh yeah, I'm glad you did that. Somebody needed to. And they're like, what? Wait, I just cleaned the kitchen for you. Are you kidding me? So it's kind of fun to look at it in the love language arena as well. So how will you express love today? How will you do that for yourself? Love is a gift you give yourself. So start with loving you and spending some quality time with yourself. Love-filled thoughts for you, for yourself. Love-filled actions, which means it could be going for a walk instead of sitting on the couch. It could mean eating an apple instead of a bowl of ice cream. Expressing love for yourself could be journal down those thoughts of frustration that you had last night, Ashley. Journal those down. Find out where it came from and eliminate it, resolve it, let it go. Right? Spend some time with you, cultivating that love for yourself so that you can love the others in your life. Thank you so much for joining me today for Ashley's Heart Song. Join me again next week as we continue to armor up our lives.